Hi, yoga teachers. It's Aneta Itchak here in our group teaching trauma, resilience, embodied yoga for social impact, which is, in a nutshell, trauma-informed yoga and with focus on embodied resilience. And I'm popping in to say hi and say welcome to everybody who joined this group in the last week. Thank you for taking time to being part of this group. And just continue our Friday live conversations about nervous system regulation, about trauma, about being a practitioner or a yoga teacher who is teaching in trauma-informed approach. And today there is something that I wanted to talk with you that comes up again and again and again with mentoring sessions in the trainings that I run. And that is to do with how often as practitioners we don't pay enough attention to our own nervous system. And so for the last 11 months, 10 months since January, because we are in October, since January, I've been running the monthly Yoga Teachers Hub that was originally set up because teachers who completed the first cohort of our trauma, resilience, embodied yoga and social impact teacher training and mentoring wanted to continue having the support. And so we've been meeting twice a month for 90 minutes. And over the last couple of months, we've also been meeting 3 times a month, doing some mentoring, looking at the support that those yoga teachers needed, and really talking about all those things that maybe we didn't get the chance to talk about in our teacher training, but that have been coming up for yoga teachers again and again in their daily work with their communities. And one of the things that the thread that ran through the whole of the last 10 months have been around how do you create something, an offering, a course, one-to-one program, group classes. How do you create all of this? And at the same time, you look after yourself as a practitioner. And, you know, for many of us, and certainly that is true for me and the yoga teachers that I've worked with, we can have a very high level of tolerance to stress. I know certainly I had it I worked in social care for 16 years. I've worked in London in a very unique place, which was a crisis intervention place for very chaotic drug users with dual diagnosis and, very, very complex needs clients in a very chaotic situations. My threshold for stress can be quite high. And, it's taken me a long time. I left social care 5 years ago, frontline work. I continue working with charities and I continue supporting clients, but in a different setting. And it's taken me a very long time to really accept and acknowledge that my threshold of stress, of crisis work, being in a crisis interventions and crisis response was very, very high because my nervous system was conditioned in that kind of way, and that was normalized. And so the danger with working in this kind of way is that you allow the stress, you allow the triggers, the nervous system dysregulation to build. And when that happens, it can really sneak up on you. And so it can lead to burnout, it can lead to yoga teachers, and I've seen a lot of that over the last few years, yoga teachers saying, right, that's it. For my mental health, for my well-being, I need to step back. I need to stop teaching. I need to take care of my own needs. And, it happens so often And so one of the things that we were doing in our monthly mentoring hub, we were looking at whatever, asking ourselves questions. When you decide you want to offer something, or you inviting people to work with you, or you are running some kind of promotion, or you are supporting your students in a certain kind of way, how does it relate to your own nervous system? How does it show up for you? Is it in alignment with what works well for you? Is it leading to more of the nervous system regulation, or is it leading you towards dysregulation? And to be able to notice those very early warning signs is a key to be able to continue doing your work, to continue go the long way, go the distance, to continue be able to support your students and your clients from that embodied, present, connected way, regulated way. Because a lot of our work is about creating safety. A lot of our work is about, relationship. A lot of our work is, I'm creating this space for you that feels safe for you. And I feel safe for you to explore, whether it's through movement, through breath, through connecting with felt senses, whether it's explore a new practice, whether it is about noticing what's present. All of this depends on us as practitioners being really regulated, being in this space where I feel safe, I offer safety to you, I can collaborate with you here, I can notice what's going on for you, I can offer you a choice because I am really attuned with that somatic empathy. I can hold your experience, whatever that is, from that co-regulated social engagement space where I am curious and I am compassionate and I am open, and I create that sense of safety for you, safety and stability in this moment. And if we are in burnout ourselves, it's much harder to do that, if not impossible. I don't want to say impossible because, I've worked for many years in this kind of state of, just reacting to what's happening and creating safety in that kind of way. So I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's much harder. And if you are self-employed and you don't have enough support, like you don't have mentoring, you don't have supervision, you don't have team around you, we could only function like this in a crisis center and in other community centers and in outreach because we had structure around us. We had the team, I had a supervisor, I had clinical supervisor, I had my team of other managers, I had my team that I was managing. I had a place where I could go and I would be surrounded by people that I could discuss the cases with. I had, people above me, the directors and, supervisors who were responsible for safeguarding. So if there was something that came up as a safeguarding, I had processes that I could follow and I could go and speak with somebody and they could guide me because they were responsible for that. And so, and often as we work as individuals, as yoga teachers, we don't have that. There is much more support around. If you are a yoga therapist, you are expected to really have supervision. It's not obligatory yet. And I think, in a sense, it needs to be. But as yoga teachers, somehow there is an assumption that people who come to you will not have those issues. And that's not true, because people who come in, they bring the wholeness of themselves with them. And so we need to take care of our own needs as we're taking care of other people's needs. And everything that we create, we have to run through, how has it impacted me? Like I am teaching, let's say, this is a really good example. If I think about this, for years, I was working full time, then I was working 4 days a week, and I was teaching on evenings, on the days that I was off. I was basically working 7 days a week for a long time. That was normal for me. And often when I would say to people, this is what I'm doing, I'm working, even when I left full-time work in social care, I was still going. I was teaching lots of classes. I was teaching lots of one-to-ones. Then I started doing Thai yoga massage. Then I was continuously working. And often people who would ask me how I'm working would say, oh my God, you're doing all of this? Again, very high threshold. And, I was hitting burnout, and I was hitting, wanting to give everything up. And I was really struggling at times, till I realized that there is another way, that I need to approach it in another way if I am going to continue doing what I love, which is working with people in this way. And so this is one thing that comes up again and again. And I think, in this group, as we are talking about teaching trauma-informed yoga, teaching embodied resilience for social impact, if we want to make social impact, we have to include ourselves within that circle of love, within that circle of self-compassion and self-care. We cannot, and this is it sounds like a cliche, we cannot give from an empty cup. We can for a while, till our body and our system start saying no to us. And then the consequences might be that you will start getting ill, or, your mental health will be not okay, or you just have to choose and give up what you're doing because it's not aligned anymore and it doesn't feel sustainable or possible to work with it. So I hope that makes sense. I mean, it all comes under compassionate boundaries. And this is why I was thinking about that today, because in our training, we are on week 3, and we are going to be talking today about compassionate boundaries and how often, as practitioners, we feel obliged to say yes when everything inside us is saying no, because we are already stretched out beyond measure. And when I'm seeing what's happening in the news at the moment, and, the possibility of, in UK, the possibilities of new restrictions coming in, that's going to be, again, very hard time for us as teachers and as yoga therapists or wellness practitioners. It might impact us again, and we might have to change how we are working again. And the positive thing around this is that we don't have to be taking so much off guard this time. We know what happened last year, and we can prepare ourselves, and we can make decisions and choices that will allow us to, to live through this coming winter in a bit easier way than we did last year. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know what you think, and let me know if you've got any questions in the comments. I will be coming here every Friday. I will be talking about different subjects. If you put at the beginning of every week, I will be putting question and answer post. If you have got any questions to do around trauma symptoms, trauma-informed yoga, embodied resilience, so embodiment, somatic practices, resilience work, or mentoring and seeking support and taking care of yourself as a practitioner, then please put them in there, and I will be showing up, and hopefully we will continue having this conversation as we move forward. Take care of yourself, and I'll be seeing you next week. Bye-bye.